Welcome to Finlex Insight, your hub for smart finance and business knowledge. Simple, practical, and powerful insights.
Have you ever thought about how a single factory could, completely change a country's destiny? It sounds kind of dramatic, right? But that's exactly what we're talking about today. We're diving into the story of India's very first cotton mill, the one that really planted the seed for a massive industrial revolution.
So let me ask you this. Any idea where and when this all actually began? Take a guess. The real answer is probably more revolutionary than you think. And honestly, it tells us so much about the birth of modern India.
Okay, so to really get why one single factory was such a huge deal, we need to jump in a time machine. Let's head back to the 19th century. Picture this. India's entire economy is, it's completely controlled by British colonial rule.
The whole system was basically a one-way street, and a really imbalanced one at that. You see, India was this massive producer of raw cotton, but instead of making things with it, they had to ship it all the way to England. Then British factories would turn it into finished clothes and textiles, and guess what? They'd sell it right back to the Indian market. This whole cycle meant that the real money, the manufacturing profits, all of that stayed firmly in British hands.
But, systems like that can't last forever. Something was about to change. A new, modern thread of ambition was about to be woven into the fabric of the economy, and it was all thanks to one company, one group of people who just decided, you know what, we're going to break the mold.
And here's the name you need to remember, the Bombay Spinning and Weaving Company. This was so much more than just a business plan on a piece of paper. It was basically a declaration of intent, a real direct challenge to that whole colonial economic setup.
The year is 1854. We're in the bustling port city of Bombay, which you have to remember was a major hub for all that colonial trade. Right there, in the middle of it all, a brand new era for Indian industry was about to kick off.
And behind this incredibly bold idea was a true visionary, a man named Cowasji Nanabhoy Davar. He was the entrepreneur who had the guts to ask a really simple but incredibly powerful question. Hey, why can't we just manufacture our own stuff right here in India?
So the mill gets founded. But the real story, the exciting part, isn't just that it was built. It's about what happened next. Because the success of this one single factory, it sent shockwaves through the entire country.
It's like that classic ripple effect, right? This was never just about making cloth. The mill's success totally ignited India's modern textile industry. All of a sudden, local manufacturing wasn't some far-off dream. No, it was a real, profitable thing you could do. And that created thousands of new jobs and was really India's first big step into the industrial age.
And this quote just nails it. It really gets to the heart of the matter. This was so much more than just a factory. People saw it as the first real step toward economic independence. It was this powerful signal that, yes, India could build things, and more importantly, profit from its own resources.
But let's be real. This wasn't easy. Not at all. Davar had to deal with some huge hurdles. First, he had to convince a bunch of skeptical investors to pour money into a project that, frankly, a lot of people thought was impossible. Then he had to figure out how to import all this complex steam-powered machinery from England. And even then, he had to find local workers who were skilled enough to actually operate the stuff. The fact that they overcame all of that just makes the final success that much more incredible.
You know how it is. Success like this doesn't stay quiet for long. That one little spark lit a massive fire. It kicked off this huge boom in the textile industry that would literally transform the city of Bombay forever.
So that first factory, it basically became the blueprint. It was the proof of concept that everyone had been waiting for. It proved beyond a doubt that an Indian-owned mill could be wildly profitable. And that, of course, inspired this huge wave of other entrepreneurs to jump in. Suddenly, new mills were just popping up all over the city.
And this industrial explosion earned Bombay a brand new nickname. The Cottonopolis of India. It's a great word, right? Cottonopolis. It basically means a city of cotton. Just like Manchester was in England, Bombay's skyline was now filled with the smokestacks of cotton mills. It became the absolute undisputed center of this new booming national industry.
So what's the big takeaway here? What's the lasting legacy? Well, this single mill wasn't just some interesting chapter in the history book. It actually became the foundation for India's entire industrial future.
Think about it. From that one single thread spun back in 1854, an entire industry grew up around it. For decades to come, the textile sector was the backbone of India's economy. It literally shaped the country's trade, its cities, and its workforce.
So in the end, the Bombay Spinning and Weaving Company, it was never just a building full of machines. It was an idea brought to life. It was the powerful proof that laid the foundation for all of modern India's industrial journey.
A big question for today, doesn't it? What's the first thread of innovation in our time? What's that one single idea right now that could totally change our future?
Thank you. Keep learning and growing with Finlex Insight. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.